and then mention the various.
And her name.
All righty.
And again, this is EEOC charge number 430-2023-2707, and the North Carolina Department of Labor charge number 204269.
Yep. Trying to find it where it's written out, everything she agreed to.
Where did you get
Can y'all give us some coaching on that? Which one?
Absolutely. One second.
How?
Not until y'all approve it.
Yeah.
Yes.
mind saying all that you started to say and just said, so like, can we say, one of us can say so moved?
Sure,
There we
what
go.
we're looking for is the motion to authorize the manager to approve the release between Ashley Platts and the town of Stallings related to EEOC charge number 430-2023-2707 and the North Carolina Department of Labor charge number 204269.
If I may, to add further clarity to that, the sum of the settlement amount would be $5,000, $4,050 Platts, $950 to her attorney, and the town would agree to provide a neutral reference for Ms. Platts, limited to dates of employment and job position, charging party served in when an employee was an employee of the town, and to recharacterize Ms. Platts' final. Okay, never mind.
All right,
So moved.
got it. Motion by Mr. Scholl to approve the settlement agreement as stated by Alex and our attorney. Second by Mr. Hall. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. All right. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming
Thank you.
down. All righty, Park and Rec. Alcohol sales at certain park events request. So Eunice, you're up.
Thank you, Erin. Hey, Council. Happy almost Valentine's Day. I'm just coming before you guys because we are gearing up for our 2023 event schedule, and Tori's been working really hard to try to meet everybody's needs. And I think where we fell short is we don't really reach that adult crowd in the park. We do a lot of stuff that's family focused throughout the year. It really pertains to young children. So this year, we really wanted to look into doing something that was more tailored to adults. So with that being said, we're going to start doing trivia nights. It's going to be third Thursday trivia from June to September. And then what all that would be is from 5 to 7:30. It would be 21 and up. We would barricade a section in the park very similar to what we did for the music in the park, if y'all went to that last year at all. And we're working with police, making sure that we have everything in place for that it was safe. And it would only be from 5 to 7:30. So it's essentially like a happy hour for adults. You know, this isn't going to be a crazy party or anything in the park. And then along with that, we're also going to bring the backyard barbecue, very similar to the barbecue event that y'all have had in the past that was more of a competition. This is going to be more so just relaxing, fun little addition to our summer series instead of doing the concert. What we found last year, the concert series, we put a lot of money towards it and we didn't see like this huge turnout that we expected. So we're kind of pouring that into this backyard barbecue event and we're going to open it up for alcohol sales if y'all agree on it. So as the ordinance states, is the council has to approve the sale of alcohol in the park on a case-by-case basis. So I'm just asking for you guys to approve the exception to the town ordinance 13002 to allow the alcohol sales at the backyard barbecue and third Thursday trivia nights in 2023. Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, could you go over the next paragraph, the details?
Of course, of course.
Maintain safety.
Yeah, so what we've done in the past, so last year we worked with the town's liability insurance to provide proper coverage. We've also contracted with reputable vendors in the area for wine and beer sales. And also we will have the controls on site. That includes police, enough staffing, parking attendants, appropriate signage. The barriers are in place to ensure that the environment is safe for everyone involved. We also outsource ID checks too, so that's not town liable for that. We will have a company that comes in and check those as well.
Now, do we charge the vendors to come in, or do we get a percentage of their sales?
No, sir, we cannot receive a percentage of the alcohol sales.
Can we charge them to be on site?
We could charge them to be on site, the alcohol vendors.
I'd love to know if Matthews does that, or when they have, alcohol at theirs, or see what the other towns do. There's out on some.
Yeah, I could definitely do some research into that. I know that we're required to at least to reach out to 2, so I can definitely dive in to see if they charge a fee for alcohol vendors.
Can we ensure that the vendors have a liability limit that covers them covering at our venue that we're the named insured or additional insured on?
Yes, sir, we definitely have that added.
Looks like we're relying on our own insurance.
So they have to put us, we've in the past made them put the town of Stallings as additionally insured. And they have to receive a proper special event permit when they come out to the parks. So if they don't have that, we don't even accept them.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Question? Discussion? Pleasure of the council? Scroll up a little bit there for him, Aaron, if you would, please. The other way. Yeah, there you go.
Approve an exception to the town ordinance 130.02 to allow alcohol sales at the backyard barbecue and third Thursday trivia nights in 2020.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Hall, second by Ms. Grooms. All in favor? Aye. Ayes have it. All right, thank you, Eunice.
Thank you.
All right, next up at KP. Appreciate it. Oh, he goes, oh. Kevin, well,
It's quick.
KP, Kevin, what, doesn't matter.
Old, younger days. Alex, did somebody on staff just get married recently? Who? That's what I thought. Congratulations.
KP is
I was
married.
feeling Jason earlier.
all
He
right.
is no longer Kevin, is like
Restaurant.
Thank you very much, though.
left at Kevin, you came home, I mean, you left at KP.
Came back at Kevin, yep. Did a lot of growing up. Well, good evening. Hopefully you all had a good weekend. Appreciate your time this evening to give you an update on our stormwater program. Wanted to talk to you about some of the projects we've completed so far this fiscal year, looking at some of the projects we've got lined up to close out the year, give you an update on our budget, and then ultimately talk about some next steps, not only to close out the fiscal year, but looking beyond that, making some improvements to our stormwater program and public works program. So no action being requested tonight, truly informational. Again, just wanted to give you a state of the program and introduce some of our efforts to make improvements to our program. So we've done quite a bit so far this fiscal year. We've completed 25 stormwater maintenance and repair projects. The majority of those projects are sinkhole repairs, which are a result of catch basins not being properly sealed, pipes underground being damaged or separated. On top of that, we've also implemented complete new stormwater systems, whether that's drainage ditches or new yard inlets or pipes themselves. Some stream restoration and bank stabilization projects, ditch regrades, and just general maintenance and cleanup of our stormwater systems. So, wanted to include these pictures here to give you an idea what we're looking at when we get called out, and ultimately what we see and how we fix these issues. So to the left here, you can see a pretty significant sinkhole right there at the back of the curb. And that was caused by damaged and separated pipe. Tough to see the pipe itself, but you can see the pooling water here at the bottom of the hole. Separate project next to it is right here. You can see the damaged and separated joint of the concrete pipe there. And in addition to that, it was not properly sealed as it enters the catch basin. And so ultimately that led to a sinkhole forming on top of the surface that grew over time. And the last picture to the right here is ultimately how we fix these issues. So what we do is we dig down, expose the pipe, as you see here. Usually we wrap silt fence and some aluminum sheeting around these damaged areas and or these pipe separations. And then we pour concrete over top of that, make sure water's staying in and nothing else is getting into that pipe to cause any of these sinkholes. Some additional projects that we've undergone are top left here. This pipe closest to the lens here is actually a concrete pipe that was just placed right next to an aluminum pipe. So there was no proper sealing or really no in-depth look on how to properly implement this infrastructure. So what we did is, and this was leading to a large sinkhole in the middle of the road. So how we fixed that was ripped out this aluminum piping, implemented and tied in accordingly concrete piping to make a fluid infrastructure, and basically replaced this culvert underneath the road and backfilled appropriately. To the right here, we had an issue with standing water damaging the shed and other parts of the property here. So we regraded this ditch. This was a brand new ditch that we graded to convey the water and get it to where it needs to go properly. And bottom right here, this stream bank here was subject to pretty bad erosion and just needed clearing and stabilizing. So cleared it, regraded it, and implemented some riprap along the bank there to help armor that stream bank. So looking ahead, we've got 24 stormwater projects on our current list. 14 of those are higher priority, and we define those as severe safety issues. For instance, that's sinkholes, whether they're in the yard, back a curb, in the road. All those are safety issues, and as well as any major threats to property damage, specifically structural damage. As mentioned, a majority of these projects are sinkhole repairs, but we also have the larger stream restoration project, that being Twin Pines, which we had a closed session about earlier, and I believe y'all are aware of that project. So we've got 10 lower priority projects lined up, which usually that's just nuisance flooding, typically caused by ditches not properly graded. So you go in there, clean out the ditches, address some erosion, and really get the water to where it needs to go and help get that system flowing properly. So looking at the budget, closing out this fiscal year, it's going to be tight. We came into this fiscal year with $550,000 for stormwater repairs, and that's truly just for repairs, and that's not the stormwater budget as a whole. That is truly for our stormwater repair program, and that included $290,000 that was appropriated towards Freesia Place and the Twin Pines project. And so to date, we've spent about 60% of that $550,000. And then looking ahead at the future projects, given the estimates that we have, we're looking to spend up to about 85% of our total stormwater budget. So and that's just the projects that we know in front of us right now and that we have estimates for. So we know that's likely going to increase. And so just wanted to include the reserve fund balance there for reference, as well as our 2023 expected stormwater revenues. And so ultimately, to close out this fiscal year, we do anticipate a budget amendment to address these projects that we've got, and especially with the larger Twin Pines stream restoration project. We know that's going to be a high cost, given the Army Corps of Engineers and their requirements and the parameters we have to abide by with them. We don't know what that number looks like yet, so we really have a lot of ambiguity with the amount of what a budget amendment would look like. Just, we do anticipate a budget amendment down the road to close out the fiscal year. And that would likely bring that reserve fund balance below $1 million. And I know that that's a council policy, so I wanted to bring that to y'all's attention.
So you think it's gonna be more than 290?
So, I'll jump back to the budget real quick. So we've spent a little bit of that $290,000 on Freesia Place and Phase 1 of Twin Pines. So that being said, we've spent about $130,000 on Freesia and Twin Pines collectively so far. And I would anticipate design for, and again, this is just high-level estimates here, I would expect about $100,000 in design for Twin Pines, and that excludes construction costs. So it would be beyond that $290,000, to be outside of what was originally approved, yes.
Okay.
And so, looking beyond our closing out this fiscal year, council previously directed staff to take a look at our stormwater fee schedule to make some adjustments and improvements. So we're coordinating with surrounding municipalities, getting an idea of what their fees look like to increase accordingly. You can see our current fee schedule off to the right there, and we were also looking at making adjustments to the fee schedule itself by implementing more equitable tiered system that is based off impervious surface area per lot. And then, on top of making adjustments to the stormwater fee, we're also looking at reducing expenditures and controlling some costs in-house. Staff believes we have a good opportunity to save significant amount of money by investing in our public works department and really starting to do some of these stormwater projects in-house. And I know really just scratched the surface with all that and covered a lot of information quickly, so I'd be happy to answer any questions that y'all might have.
Well, I ask this every time, we talk about wastewater, CIPP.
Yep.
Is there any projects that would call for that type of engineering or?
For wastewater?
Yeah, for wastewater.
Nope, not in this case. If, just, are you talking about capital improvement projects?
No, it's cured in place pipe engineering.
I do not believe so.
Yeah, we had a guy from the largest cured in place pipe company come in and do a presentation with us, during your time when you were.
Okay,
I'll send you some data on it.
yeah,
Just get you up to speed on.
that'd be great.
What it is you repair the pipe from the inside, so you don't have to remove the pipe. So, but it's really only for 4-inch to 8-inch pipe type. So I know a lot of those were smaller than that.
There is something called hydro sealing, and that's a very similar concept. And it's usually been implemented when there's too many utilities to dig down and correct it accordingly. So that is something I'm familiar with, but it's got to be circumstantial is when it's
Gotcha.
main benefit, yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you some information.
Yeah, that would be great.
Just be, know what's out there.
Appreciate that, thank you.
Any questions for Kevin?
Thank y'all very much.
Thanks for the update.
Yeah.
Jamie was ready with her folder over there, so I didn't, any
Oh,
questions?
no, I'm supporting him tonight, sir.
Okay. All righty. So now we need to go to reports. Nothing from the mayor. So any council member have any reports? Graham, I'll start with you.
Yes, sir.
Heather, anything?
No.
Stephen?
I did want to take and just say for a few moments here that we did have a rather larger Western Union Municipality Alliance meeting. And one of the big subjects that was there was the county water and sewer issues. And so we did have one of the commissioners come out and talk with us, and also
Which one?
Helms,
Oh,
Richard.
yeah.
Yeah. But This was just kind of an intro into the topic for the group. There has been a request for all of the commissioners to come to the next WUMA meeting, and those, they formally have gotten an invite to come talk to this subject. So, and they are looking at some legal requirements that are, it seems that maybe there's some discussion that maybe the county cannot necessarily hold back on sewer because they want to control growth. That the state has requirements that they have to meet in order to be able to provide sewer. And so there's some discussion around that point. And so just as an awareness, it is a big topic, and we're going to continue to push forward with it. I did take and talk to, it came up about, we were going, at that point in time, we were still talking about trash. And two of the towns gave their numbers for trash, and which again tells us how well Aaron did. Those contracts are slightly different, but still, one of them was $17.66 per person. Per household per month, and one is $20.66 per month. So there. And then I've talked to Alex about this here. CRPTO is actually coming to Union County to discuss a couple of topics, one of those being public transportation. Unfortunately, that's tomorrow night, so.
Oh, yeah, and Brad's out of town, so am I.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Where is it?
My understanding is that it is at the building, the
Downtown, or you said it's
downtown
coming out
Monroe.
here?
Coming to
Yeah.
Union County?
Yeah, CRPTO is coming to Union County.
You know where in Union County?
I don't.
I'll look at, see if I got it on my,
Probably can't.
okay.
All right, that's all I have.
Well, you brought up some points that I forgot. I'll jump in here. Eunice, want to thank you for your event this past weekend. I understand, I saw the pictures, and sorry I couldn't make it up, but I understand it was well attended. So, all righty. Well, thank you for doing that for the town. Second thing, talking about sewer, I can't remember if I told the council, David and Alex and I attended the chamber meeting. Have we had a council meeting since then?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, so that's a good thing. So we attended the chamber legislative agenda meeting, and so all of us, let's see, three county commissioners were there, and then Todd Johnson was there, Dean Arp was there,
Mark Brody.
Mark Brody, which, obviously he doesn't interact with us, but he has a vote. So they were rotating around. First, the elected officials were rotating around to the tables, and I had two Board of Education members, and all they wanted to talk about was how good apartments are for Union County, and I just shut them down real quick on that, so that's another story. But David Williams came third, and I asked him about sewer. I wasn't going to give him my preference. I wanted to hear what he had to say, and the only thing he said was, you can blame Stony Rush and Melissa Merrill and Brian Helms for our situation, and then he just throw them under the bus. So I don't know if Richard did the same thing to them, so that's good. So it wasn't I want to hear what his vision was. I didn't want him throwing them under the bus, so I thought that was in poor taste. And I reported it to all three of those, and they said that's not something we don't already know. But so, and then the third thing about the silver lining in the transportation to Carpo coming out here, I challenged the chamber rep. I said, what do you say you support infrastructure, you support this, you don't support low taxes and all that. Well, what do support is one thing. You talk is cheap. What are you doing actions to support it? I haven't seen any chamber member coming out here helping us convince the county commissioners putting money in towards the silver line. So that's the kind of support they need to be doing, putting pressure on our decision makers if they want to bring the silver line out here, because certainly Indian Trail and Stallings can't afford it to bring it out there. So, and then David Cone, mayor of Indian Trail, called me and he had heard through the grapevine that we're talking to CMUD, and I think he wanted in on those conversations. And I just told him, well, I gave him a very vague answer, let them do their own work. And so, but he knows that we're talking to CMUD, so that's a long ways to run pipe. So, all right, that's all I got, David.
you hit a couple of things I was gonna talk about, but that's cool. The day before, I can't remember who was at that one, the Groundhog Day Economic Development Forum for Union County put on by Chris Platte and the Executive Development Committee of Union County, I think they're called now, or something anyhow. Very, very informative. Listening to the predictions of some experts, a banking expert, a construction expert. Were you there?
No, I saw that.
Okay. It's very, very interesting, and they didn't outright say we're gonna have a recession, but the odds are we might have a recession. You know how, it's almost like a weatherman, hedging all their bets. Then the next day, we had the Chamber Legislative meeting that was also very informative in talking to people about development in Union County and the big, what they perceive as the big problems for recovery if there is a recession, and how that would look and how long it would take. And then last week, I was up in Chapel Hill doing follow-up coursework for the Advanced Leadership Corps that I did last summer. And it was, not only is the class work interesting and informative, but the networking is, I don't know, it's an excellent opportunity that I'm glad to have, where I was able to meet and develop a further relationship with two county commissioners, of Mecklenburg County commissioners. And both of them I'd watched on their video of the boundary issue, and was able to go up to both of them and talk to them one-on-one and say, if you got any questions about that, I live in that neighborhood. I'm on Stallings Town Council, and I've been in that area since 1998. I know the area quite well. Ask me questions, and they did. And I don't think either one of them is in favor of moving forward with the possible land boundary switch. I think the issue is that the state has on file a boundary that's different than what Union and MEC locally have on file. That Union and MEC have used that same boundary for decades with no problems. The problem arose from the fact that the state office of geo mapping, whatever that department's called, is different than the local. So what we're all proposing, and we did a resolution, which they got, is that the state adapt to the local lines. And they understand that on the MEC side. Todd has also talked to me, Dean's talked to me, in addition to Wyatt also talked to us. We saw them at the chamber events between the 2 days I was at stuff. I saw all of those guys, and they're all aware and will try to codify it if need be. That's the last resort, to codify it, but they're just hoping everyone just resolves that the state moved our line. So that's part of the ALC. While I got a lot out of the classwork, the networking is excellent to be able to have these opportunities to meet one-on-ones with various folks around the state. And by coincidence, two of them were pretty important to meet this time.
Good. Thank you, David. Alex?
Thank you, Mayor. Just three quick things. First, want to piggyback off the mayor's comments and recognize the park staff for the excellent event over the weekend. I took my resident critic. He gets kind of mean before his nap time, but he had a great time. And
I do the same thing.
yeah, I hear you. We're all just big toddlers at the end of the day. But I was just very impressed with just the number of people that came. It felt like just a Stallings Fest environment, just people filling it up, having a good time, bringing their families. So very impressed. Thank you, Eunice, to you and your team. I've put the Stallings Fire Department's request for financial support in front of y'all. So if you have any questions, happy to kind of talk through that with you. And we've got a very, very quick survey on the 50th anniversary, some very, very broad questions. So please, 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 if you can fill that out before you leave today, it would be much appreciated. And we do have that item on the annual retreat agenda as well. So there'll be an opportunity to discuss that more. And that's all I've got.
Yeah, we can do the fire department thing at our retreat. That'd be a good
Sounds good.
segue, give everybody a chance. I don't know who's seen the letter yet, but All righty, let's see. Chief, any report tonight? Report tonight. Okay. Let's see. Melanie, anything? All right, I think we're good then on 6A. Anybody have any other topic they wanted to bring up? Good, all right. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Ayers, second by Ms. Groom, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it.